Last time out, VIR saw Marco Sanfilippo dominate proceedings, winning by a clear country mile. But the well-known Mini Nürburgring, nestled deep within the Lincolnshire countryside of the United Kingdom, could add another as of yet unwritten chapter this season. But who can tame the famed Cadwell Park circuit in these wonderful machines? We're primed and ready for round 9 of the Lotus 79 Sunday Grand Prix Series, which is set to get underway here live in sound and vision right here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Hi there everyone, it's Alex Goldschmidt, and joining me in the booth today is Sebastian Holmichel. Behind the scenes is our director Christian Deploy, with cameras being used by Christian, supplied by Dougie Beard. So, what does this particular circuit bring to the table in terms of a challenge for the drivers? Let's find out via our GSRC track guide.
Welcome to Cadwell Park Circuit. A mere half hour from the North Sea on the east coast of the UK, this is one of the longest running racetracks in the country. The 4 layouts available on iRacing range from 9 turns to 19, but they all run pretty short, with everything from just under a mile to just over 2 miles in length. With how incredibly narrow this track is, you usually only see lower-powered race cars and motorcycles competing. The lack of room is made especially apparent at the start of the lap with a series of fast, sweeping corners like Coppice, Charlie's, Park, and Chris Curve. All the time you're climbing uphill towards the highest part of the track. The difficulty comes in the way almost all of them flow into one another and require multiple apexes to get right. But from there, it's a steep drop back downhill into slower, more technical turns. This can include a chicane version meant for motorcycles to help slow things down since runoff is limited here. Perhaps the most visually striking of this section is the mountain, which fits its name once you see how steep the rise is. Higher-powered cars will get very light over its crest. From there, you better get single file for the Hall bends, and then don't miss your braking point for when the hairpin smacks you in the face. After that, be sure to set up a good exit off of Barn, because if you're slow down the pit straight, the lack of passing opportunities will make everyone hungry to try and overtake. With more than 9 decades of motorsports behind it, the track has become a staple for fans and club racers. Whether it's British superbikes or motorsport festivals, the character and challenge keeps bringing them back year after year.
Well, there you go. In a nutshell, that's what Cadwell Park will bring to the party. A very, very old school circuit based round about 5 miles south of Louth in Lincolnshire. 18 turns, just a shade under 3.5 kilometres. Sebastian, firstly, this circuit is proper old school. There's no runoff area. What are the biggest things we're going to have to look out for today?
Yeah, the big things we have to look out for is the draft down the main straight, and also, of course, where is the overtaking spot? I mean, turn 7 can be a setup for turn 8 for an overtake, but the forest section will be wild tonight in the Lotus 79. 3.5 kilometers of pure concentration, focus, and determination for the drivers to get the car around at first and then set up the overtakes. Maybe turn 4 could be a good thing, but yeah, it's super difficult to say how the cars will hopefully not tangle wheel to wheel tonight.
Yeah, of course, this circuit established back in 1934, courtesy of Mr. Mansfield Wilkinson of Louth. Corners have been named after family members, including Mansfield himself, Charlie's, and Chris Curve, which are turns 2 and turns 5. Also, folks, there's a little bit of a Black Friday sale going on, courtesy of our good friends over at iRacing. 50% off all new memberships, 25% off all early renewals and reactivations. So this is happening all the way through to the 2nd of December. So if you want to get your iRacing Black Friday deal, head to iRacing.com/Black Friday. And as you rightly said, so turn 7 probably at Mansfield. The mountain's going to be the tough challenge because, say in the Ray Formula Ford 1600 or the Skippy Barbers, though these cars will definitely go airborne, especially with the way that these cars are provided. Of course, it's the Lotus 79. And anyone that joins this league will be assigned a specific livery from the 1970s. So there's going to be a lot of historic liveries from days of yore. And more to the point, we have to really look at how the championship is looking at the moment, because we have got 12 rounds. Marco Sanfilippo, after his dominant win, which was over 25 seconds at VIR, leads on 557 points ahead of Topi Cortiniemi. Danilo Sanfilippo rounds out the top 3 with Jason 13. Thank you very much, Christian. 13 rounds. So this is the first time for me jumping onto the Lotus 79. Jason Clapper and Dylan Freckleton round out the top 5 with Gernot Fritsche, Björn Ackermann, AJ Roper, Jean-Francois Boscus and Nathan Finnegan rounding out the top 10, covered by a spread of 372 points. The F2 driver standings, so Thomas Barfay on 270 points with John Stevens 37 adrift, Daniel Gallis 45 adrift down in 3rd, Thomas Silbernagel in 4th with Kurt Clapper 5th ahead of Janne Lehmann, Manning Greinen, Ben Summers, Bruno Araya and Jason Krakowiak rounding out the top 10, covered by 145 points. Then we have to look into the team standings coming into this. So the SE 9000 crew of Danilo and Marco Sanfilippo currently have 877 points between them out of Team Alfa Romeo. March Grand Prix Team ATS, Minardi, TVR. That's a 3-letter acronym for a car manufacturer I haven't heard in quite a long time. Originally based out of Birmingham. Tyrrell, Ragnar Arrows Beta, Equipe Renault Elf, Scuderia Ferrari SPA, Northern Winter Racing, Krakowiak Racing Team, and Brute Force. That's a brilliant one for an aftershave of the times, rounding out the team standings. And more to the point, here is the race details. It's round 9 out of 13, 32 laps, open setup, no spare car. So if you bin it, that's it. Your race is over and done with. Drive-through penalty at 17x and DQ at 25x. So it's going to be a quick 32 laps, and they are already starting to grid up. So let's have a look at the starting grid for round 9 of 13. So it's Pauli Kalevi Partonen and Jacob Reed on the front row, JD Rodriguez and Dylan Freckleton, row 2, Luca Bracali and Gernot Fritsche, row number 3, Daniel Gallis and Jean-Francois Boscus on row 4, Mickey Friesen and Miguel Molan round out the top 10. Then row 6, Josh Brain and Nathan Finnegan, John Stevens, Janne Lehmann, Byron Long, Keith Herner, Manning Greinen, Adam Klatska, Arnold Koch, Richard Thurston. They complete the top 20, so going to have a very, very packed grid. They are gridding up as we speak. Row 11, Jason Krakowiak, Hannah Fechner. Then we've got Thomas Silbernagel, Russell Hamilton, Marc Briones, Uwe Seelbauer, Jared Laws, Barry West, Marc-Antoine Thibault, and Ben Summers rounding out 30 cars on the grid. Row 16, Nick Mahoney, Don Runkle Jr. with James Scamordera rounding out a 33-car grid here, Sebastian. This is going to be craziness in a nutshell.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Here at Cadwell Park, I see the medical copters also ready. So let's see what carnage will unfold on the first lap. Hopefully not too much, because I don't want to lose any of these cars in the beginning stage of the race.
They're going to have to be very, very careful going through the gooseneck and into Mansfield after the first 5 turns as they are gridding up. We are just waiting for everyone to be set and on their marks. It is a standing start in true Formula One formation.
And then the back of the grid starts in the barn corner, the last corner.
And lights are out, we're underway. Good start from the front of the field as the green flag waves, 2-3 wide as they go through Coppice, up the incline, then down through the right-hander here at Charlie's at turn 2 and into 3. Then it's the long blast down the park straight, up the hill, and then it's going to be into the 90 right-hander here at Park before we go into Chris Curve, named after one of the Wilkinson family. Very tight, but then you've got to really line it up and start accelerating before you've got to go hard on the brakes ever so slightly into the gooseneck, which is the quick left downhill. Use the camber, down the hill again into Mansfield. Now, this is the run towards the famed section known as the mountain. You're going to go up through this very, very quick section, and then you're going to be hard on the brakes. You've got to watch for the hump there, and they've got to be very, very careful. Slow speeds, and everyone at the moment so far here, Sebastian, is taking it nice and easy, with Parton, Reed, Rodriguez, Freckleton and Bricali leading the way, running out the top 5.
And they know the danger and want to accommodate to the track, giving each other room, follow each other. It's a long race with 32 laps, so yeah, much can happen, and everyone want to gain their points in the championship. This is round 9 of 13, of course, and that means the season is going into the final stages, so every point counts now. And also, of course, if you have to make up 159 points to maybe be the champion.
Loving the Nissan R390 GT1 livery on the number 11 of Mickey Frierson, currently running P8 at the moment, as we've already gone through the opening lap, so that's the first 3.5 kilometres of this circuit disposed with. As a little look just in front, Gallus trying to get through on Fritscher for 6th place. So again, just as you said, it's about winding up correctly. One of the cars in the background going a little bit off circuit. We're going to go to our first GSR replay of the race. Now this is Jason Krakowiak, the Canadian, running in the number 25. Oh, and it causes 2 cars, I think maybe 3, that have ended up going out on that particular stretch on the road. That just goes to show how perilous it can be. And you said about the drivers know the dangers, and unfortunately Krakowiak getting caught between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, that as you said, no spare car, race is over. He did win it and will never win it here tonight at Cadwell Park. So, but as you can see, the draft is pretty heavy on the park straight, so yeah, and the cars are wide, so too wide is already a danger here.
Very much the case. We ride on board on the left-hand side of the nose cone of Daniel Gallus in 7th position, closing in on Fritscher in 6th place, just up ahead. The gap between them about half a second, and you can just see the amount of undulation, changes in gradient and also ascent. Fritscher locks up on the left front ever so slightly, but manages to keep it under control. And now you can just see the sheer speed of acceleration here, Sebastian. It's absolutely wonderful to witness it firsthand.
Yeah, of course, down the hill with the braking into Mansfield, and now over the mountain. And yeah, this is where the fun begins here, because you can make up much ground here, stay tight at the hairpin, and then maybe set up a move down to after the start-finish line.
Jacob Reed at the moment has just set the fastest lap of the race in P2, 1 minute 13, 1:38, and he's closing in on Partonen for the race lead. So that gap is coming down, and as Sebastian was alluding to earlier, ladies and gentlemen, that slipstream is absolutely mighty. Now into the next right-hander, they're going to go down a slight gradient, but he's keeping Partonen very, very honest. Rodriguez is about 2 seconds away from this battle for the race lead, as we've got Nathan Finnegan getting through on Morlan. That's the battle for 10th. So incredible, nice little bit of dive bombing from the number 7. Through on the number 19, running the old school Renault Elf livery, raced by the likes of Mehdi Arnoux, Alain Prost, to name just a few Formula 1 drivers back in those days. As we're going to go to another replay. So this is Byron Long in the number 27. Oh, he's got it off track. He's got one going up the inside, tags the right rear, goes around, and another chain reaction occurs.
It's always bad for the third car in the mix. There's something happening in front of you. Maybe for a split second you're thinking, yes, I'm making up 2 positions, but then you crash into the rear and maybe have terminal damage. But this didn't look too much for the car running into the back. So hopefully he will continue. And as we have seen, Finnegan was with that dive bomb into the top 10 spot. So yeah, it's very important to make up these positions, because overtaking opportunities are spare.
Which is what Josh Brain is trying to do on Morlan, trying to go into the right-hander here. So this is the battle for 11th place. We're running on board from the UK driver in the number 13, running in the good old Valvoline colours. Lovely to see that kind of livery also be a part of the grid. We've also seen one particular car running in the JPS style livery with Fanatec on the side pods. I think that was Fritcher or Gallis, if I remember correctly, but across the line we go. We're on to lap 5 out of 32. Oh! Mollard completely spins it. Brain has nowhere to go. Neither does Stevens, and Miguel Mollard got the get out of jail free card on that one.
But super smart to cut over the grass. Of course you get to slow down, but there's no danger for you to crash into the wall or into the spinning car.
So Jani Leiman, the number 15 from Finland, running 13th at the moment, closing in on the Marlborough McLaren style livery of the number 16 of Stevens just up ahead. Brain in the number 13 is also just ahead of them, so this is a battle for 11th, 12th and 13th position. So into the what I love about the circuit here at Cadwell Park, Sebastian, is the fact that the corners really do allow these cars to handle on a knife edge.
Yeah, right. You could see it. There were some tires locking up. There is a huge acceleration out of the corners. So this track is really classic as the cars. So that fits really, really well into that.
So still plenty of laps to go. Partonen and Reed about 7.5 tenths of a second apart in the battle for the race lead. But Mickey Frierson, the Carolina driver, trying to close in on Gallis and Fritsche. So another replay coming up. So who we got this time? John Stevens is on board. Yeah, that was a very, very good avoidance for both him and also Brain. So Morlan has dropped himself down to 15th place ahead of West, Koch, Grinnen, et al. Behind, who ran at the top 20. But Mickey Frierson definitely a little bit on the warpath here as he's closing in on Gallis with that slipstream. So the Nissan R390 GT1 livery versus the good old Lotus JPS just up ahead with Gallis behind the wheel of the number 12. And there we see Marc-Antoine Thibault from Canada in 20th place, running the number 14. So has a bit of a fight on his hands with the car behind, but still just going to show that there are very, very close fought battles up and down the order as Jacob Reed. Oh, now someone has just gone off. That was one of the JPS liveried cars, I believe, in the background. But this is allowed. Well, that might have caused a slight problem for Partonen, who's lost a little bit of that lead, and Reed responds with the fastest lap. Rodriguez in third also responds, and he's closed that gap down to what was at its highest about 2.2 seconds. Now is a second and a half as they've just got past the 26. So back marker traffic of a quarter of the way through here, Sebastian, is really going to make the difference between who could win this race here at Cadwell Park for round 9.
Yes, everyone can make a mistake. From my experience, the drivers here are very, very competent and look out for each other, so shouldn't be too much of a thing. And here's the lockup into the hairpin by Jared Laws.
Yeah, so the number 32 from Texas, outbraking himself there, locking up the front significantly. And here is Rodriguez. Gap now down to 1.8 seconds. There is JD Rodriguez picture in picture. From the Iberian region, I would judge by the livery on his car, probably residing from Spain. But you can just see how much concentration there is on his face. Of course, through the tighter corners on this circuit, you will lose a lot of time, but with the way that these cars accelerate, you are going to start to close in as Reed is sizing up a potential move on Partonen as they go up through into Coppice, into Charlie's. Then it's going to be the blast down the park straight very, very shortly. So Reed here has got an opportunity, but another back marker gets in the way. Reed has to wait. Up to park they go. Is he going to look to the inside? He's going to try for the move. Decides discretion is the better part of valor. Through into park. Now into Chris Curve. Reed could have had him had that back marker not been in the way.
Yes, of course, but maybe he's also playing a long-run game. He knows he's a little bit faster, and maybe he did find out in the last 8.5 laps where he can make his move. but he also has to watch his mirrors for Rodriguez, who is also closing in again about 1.4 of a second. He's in the mix. If anything happens in the front, he's there to maybe snatch the victory.
Yeah, Palikalevi Partanen leading the way, but there you see Reed in the background, not wanting to give this up by any stretch of the imagination. JD Rodriguez running at the top three, so the top three covered by 1.6 seconds as one of the drivers peels into pit lane. So across the line we go once again. Lap 10 out of 32 underway, and the gap between the top two, 0.5 of a second now through into Charlie's once again. I thought there might have been a slight stumble there from Reed in second position. Not quite, might have just lost a little bit of momentum coming through the curbing. It's quite tight going through from Coppice into Charlie's as they're now going through Park and into Chris Curve. So as you rightly said, Sebastian, it is about placement. It's about deciding when you're going to go for it. Cool down the tyres a little bit, see if the person in front of you makes an unforced error. We've seen quite a few of them already in the opening 10 laps out of 32, so still a lot to play for here in round 9.
Yeah, and it is so much to lose, and as we maybe see in this next replay.
Adam Klatska making a move up has just lost a position to the number 14. So Klatska is now going to have to fight to see if he can get himself back up into the top 20. But again, you were right about Rodriguez. He really is starting to turn up the volume, in the words of Spinal Tap, to number 11 at the minute. And he's 1.7 seconds behind Partanen. But more importantly, he's got that gap down to 1.1 seconds, maybe a second between himself and Reed in the battle for P2. So, yeah, this is becoming a bit of a cat and mouse game here at Cadwell Park, isn't it?
Yes, of course. A little bit of also a brain game, some mind games going on maybe. Maybe show yourself in the mirror. Yeah, and it's for the win, so the best of the best are in the front, of course, but also very good drivers here with Barry West, as we can see his, let's call it perspective.
Yeah, running a monitor on the right-hand side, but I think, he's using the full VR immersion. And so you get an idea, picture-in-picture here, folks, of how some people commit. So Barry West running in the number 9, running in the Renault livery. He is closing in on Miguel Morland, and we've got Mr. Silvernagel just up ahead. So this is a battle for 14th, 15th. Silvernagel running in that wonderful Leighton House livery, made popular thanks to the efforts of a certain Adrian Newey back in the day. And this is a wonderful onboard again that we love to see here, Sebastian. The fact that we can just understand how hard these drivers are pushing. And obviously these cars old school. No ABS, no traction, just a good old manual gear shift, a steering wheel, throttle pedal and a brake, and off you go.
Yeah, and tires as big as a Smart.
I love that analogy, as big as a Smart 4.2 on the back of the car that we see in front of us, Miguel Morland. But you can just see again, battles up and down the order here, folks. But Pauli Partanen is leading the way and has opened up the gap again. It was 9/10, it's just dropped down. So there might have been an opportunity for Reed in second position to close that gap. Mickey Frierson still closing in on Gallus just up ahead. So that battle for 7th has been waging on. We're about 4 laps away from half distance here at Cadwell Park. And more to the point, please don't forget, folks, Black Friday sale is available now with our good friends at the iRacing service. So it's new users 50% off, and if you're a repeat subscriber, 25% off 1 or 2 year subscriptions, meaning the biggest iRacing sale of the year is back right up until the 2nd of December for iRacing's Black Friday. Head to iRacing.com/Black Friday to sign up if you're a newbie to iRacing, you want to get involved, or if you're a long-time proponent of this wonderful platform, get yourselves back out on track. And again, Jacob Reed closing that gap. It's ebbing and flowing, and still, when I mentioned about the ABS and the traction control, it's proper old school. You've got to be one with the car. You've got to be very, very careful on the racing lines, but also look at Rodriguez. Rodriguez is closing. Reed now knows he's got to make a move very, very quickly past the back marker that they've just got through on. And Rodriguez again. Just look at the concentration on JG Rodriguez's face there, Sebastian. Incredible that a lot of these drivers may have full-time jobs, but this is their passion. This is what they love to do.
Yeah, that's right. You can see, again, as you said, his concentration and yeah, focus on the cars in front. Also, I might want to add this back marker in the forest section at the mountain. Super good how he got out of the way.
Exactly, and that's one of the things. It's not just down. It's, you know, the drivers that are getting the blue flag warning. They'll keep out of the way, but it's also down to the faster moving traffic, the quicker cars that are going to have to circumnavigate around the outside, doing the old M&M or Slim Shady, however you want to call it, or going to the inside, and you can just see a little bit of breath taken there by Rodriguez. And the thing is, it might not be the most wonderful looking setup, folks, but it's comfortable for JD. He knows exactly how his rig works to him, caters for his driving style, and enabling to push as Peterson now with 2 laps until half time out of 32 laps has a 1 1/4 second lead as Rodriguez gets all 4 wheels airborne at the mountain. Incredible stuff. He lit up the rear tyres and it shot the car forward.
Yes, maybe at a point the car is getting lighter and lighter with less fuel on board. Maybe some people will catch that off guard.
Yeah, and it could also cause potential traction problems. If you launch the car, you're going to have to wait really, really carefully and time it to perfection on how soon you can get that car moving forward, because the one thing you don't want to do is start spinning the wheels up into the air and hitting the accelerator hard. You want to wait, time it, and as soon as those 4 contact patches known as tyres land on terra firma, then you know that you can start pushing forward. But yeah, Peterson's cleared a lot of distance between himself and Reed, so Reed might start to find that he's going to be struggling with those tyres in the second half of this race, and Rodriguez has just been doing something, you know, a pretty straightforward strategy here, Sebastian. He's been keeping everything calm, not rushing the race itself, running it to his own requirements, and again 4 wheels off the track, waits for it, boots the throttle, and that's just quite good as they go through into the whole bends underneath the tree lines here at Cadwell.
And you can also see he's trying to narrow down the apexes there to maybe get half of a tenth off there in certain corners. But of course it's more and more risky, and here also again with the back markers in front, yeah, trouble is up ahead on the road.
Another GSRC replay. Oh, Ben Summers loses it going into the whole bends off of the mountain. Manages to get away with it with minimal front wing damage. I think the nose took the brunt of it, as Barry West still challenging Mr. Silbernagel for that 14th place as they go up towards the mountain. And yeah, West doing exactly the same, but Silbernagel just holding on to that 14th place. So a really, really wonderful to hear these cars, to see these cars in action at a track more commonly associated, folks, with motorbike racing, especially with the British Superbikes, amongst other championships that run here. But we see this wonderful viewpoint from this time from the right-hand side of the cockpit for both in picture and also for Barry West himself, who is just keeping Silbernagel very, very honest. And what Silbernagel's doing is just keeping it nice and calm and composed and not wanting to make an unforced error.
Right, and also what is interesting, he's driving in VR, Barry West, but still uses the H-pattern shifter there, or what is it?
I think it's a sequential setup he's got there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
So,
but still that he knows where it is, and he's very, very prepared with his rig.
exactly, and he's hard on the brakes going into the next left-hander. Now they're going to come through into this fast part of the circuit, so out of Barn, and they're going to be heading, well, they're going to be heading now up towards the mountain, actually. So that was coming through Gooseneck into Mansfield, and then you can see the rear axle of Silbernagel going skywards as they head into this very, very tight and fast-flowing technical part at Hall Bends before the hairpin, and then they go down the hill. A little bit of an apex being cut off a bit more there by Barry West. He's going to do the same here at Barn, and now start applying the power up the rev range. Let's wait for it. Now he shifts. So good to see that's happening. They're getting past the number 12 car that we saw go off the circuit a little bit earlier on. As we're past half-time, 17 laps out of 32. Partonen leads from Reed. Rodriguez completes the top 3 with 16 to go, including this one. Freckleton, Bracali, Fritscher, Gales, Friesen, Finnegan and Boskus rounding out the top 10. Pauli-Kalevi Partonen sets the fastest lap of 1 minute 12.036 as Rodriguez is giving Reed the hurry up here for second.
Yeah, that will be the battle for in the end for P2, and maybe this is the move.
Rodriguez dives up the inside, and there it is. Patience does well, they do say that absence makes the heart grow fonder, especially when you're waiting for a very, very long time for overtaking. But JD Rodriguez in the number 6 takes second away from Reed, and now can start going hunting after Partonen as the back markers again continue to get out of the way. But with 15 to go, Partonen's now got a 2.5 second lead. And with these fuel loads lightening, as you rightly said, Sebastian, this could be the opportunity that if Rodriguez has got plenty of tyre rubber left, he can start chasing them down, but he has to lock up to avoid the back marker. And I think that was the slowdown for him as well, wasn't it? Oh, and one of the Renault's, one of the Renault liveries cars goes straight on, and that would have been at the hairpin.
Yeah, could have been the back marker early. We saw early on, and this was a problem with the lockup for Rodriguez, and also it was the biggest jump we have seen so far at the mountain.
Yeah.
Maybe we will see more distance covered in the air.
Who knows? Who knows? If it's like Knight Rider and David Hasselhoff from the 1980s engaging turbo boost. But Reed now is trying to catch back Rodriguez. And you said about slipstream, Sebastian, and I think it's proving the point here that Rodriguez has now gone from the hunter to becoming the hunted, as Reed is trying every trick in the playbook to try and get past him, and he's got to bide his time. If he can send it at some point where Rodriguez is not going to expect it, or where we're not going to expect it here, because we have seen in this championship that drivers do go a little bit brazen when they've had their Dutch courage before the race.
Yeah, that could be. In the end, of course, it's now a matter of, again, concentration, and it's also a thing in sim racing where people are discussing, who's the draft hero here, so who can go faster in the draft, but as soon as he overtakes, the tables will turn, but it doesn't look so much like it, but maybe Jacob Reed can set up a surprise move.
Yeah, Jacob Reed held on to second place before JD Rodriguez managed to get through, and that was a very, very good move from the Iberian driver. Reed closing in, the number 1 driver from the United Kingdom, trying to keep pace, and well, Pauli Partonen has got a lead of just nearly 4 seconds. And that is a significant amount of lead. I mean, the thing was, if Rodriguez manages to catch up to Partonen, there is still time in the books. But Jean-Francois Boscus battling for 10th position. And that is Brain that's just got through, I think, isn't it? Or no, that's Boscus there in the number 8. So Josh Brain for the number 13, Valvoline liveried Lotus 79, is trying to chase the Frenchman down and get into the top 10. I think I did see a little bit of a blip there that someone might have lost a wheel. Not too sure if that's actually happened, or it might have just been the server. But yeah, Josh Brain trying to close in on Boscus for that 10th place. So here we go with another GSRC replay. Barry West in the car. Oh, that's going to be a bit too close to Silbernagel. Oh, and West loses it, goes onto the grass and loses 2 positions, drops to 17th.
Yeah, okay, of course not an unsafe rejoin, but of course it was a defending move after he made that mistake, and did force Barry into a mistake. So chain reaction there, but yeah, what can you do in racing?
Oh, Miguel Milan clashes into the back of Silbernagel, and Milan hits the barriers, and that's a wheel off the wagon. He's done. That is a real shame. He also had the biggest moment going into, I think it was the mountain earlier on, just lost the back end, spun the car whilst running P10, so Miguel Molan is another retiree. They are falling by the wayside right about now.
But where did he want to go there? I don't saw the overtaking opportunity there, but maybe a little slight of mistake or misjudgment. I don't think he really wanted to set up an overtake there already.
No, that was definitely one's good on their own and two's definitely a crowd on that particular occasion. But Pauli Partonen still continues to lead with 11 to go. 3.9 seconds between himself and JD Rodriguez, with Jacob Reed rounding out the top three. So second and third, the biggest battle. Arnold Koch in the number 24, running in the old Wolf style livery, it looks like. He's now closing in on Thomas Silbernagel for that 14th spot as they go up the hill in towards the mountain once again. And yeah, Koch gets it airborne slightly, so does Silbernagel. And then we've got West, who's got past Thibault for 16th place. So West having a few dramas of his own, as we saw a moment ago. But it's great to see these close battles up and down the order. Now, Partonen has lost time. He's lost nearly half his lead. Now, this is a replay. Yeah, that was Miguel Molan, I think, just getting caught out by the draft. And his race came to an abrupt end at the Hall Bends. JD Rodriguez, first driver in the race on race trim, to dip below 1 minute 12, 1 minute 11.993, running on board with Jacob Reed, who's lost a little bit of time to Rodriguez in the meantime.
Yes, he did, but also Partonen did lose 1.5, 1.6 of a second. The gap is significantly closer now.
Yep, so Rodriguez now has a target to aim for, and that gap is closing. So Partonen might be. It's going to be the case that no traffic. It's going to be back marker traffic. So Partonen, his race is now being in some way compromised, not through his own making, but having to circumnavigate his way through back markers. They're going through into Hall Bends again and heading into the hairpin. And there you see, there is Partonen. I've just spotted him. He's just got through on Silbernagel. Reed nearly comes a cropper on that one. I think that was Koch that unfortunately got in his way ever so slightly. They were both going through the hairpin, and Koch just lets Reed go through up the hill through Coppice into the right at Charlie's. That was very, very close indeed, and good job by Jacob Reed to keep out of harm's way there.
Yeah, right. From 0.8 now to 1.2. So there's still a battle up ahead with 9 laps to go, I would say. But of course, yeah, he has to clear another back marker, which cost him a little bit of time.
Yeah, that was through on the Leighton House number 17 of Silbernagel, who's now got Koch. So Koch behind, and also Mr. West. So 9 to go. Partonen leads by just over 1 second. It's fluctuating as they go through certain parts of the circuit. So when Partonen loses time to traffic, that will mean that Rodriguez will start to gain. Rodriguez is also gapping Reed, because obviously with that nigh-on close clash of sidewalls between him and Koch in the number 24, all the way up to Janne Lyman in the number 15 car have been lapped so far. So 13 cars still on the lead lap. 8 to go here. I think Rodriguez has definitely got a good opportunity to close in on Partonen here, Sebastian, and maybe challenge him for the win.
0.8, 0.9 now, was down to 0.7. So there is definitely the opportunity in the draft to close that gap, make the move, and yeah, it will be a gamble. Every move will be a gamble, but we have seen for overtaking.
Yeah, and Rodriguez just showing that back marker getting out of the way. The gap now down to 0.8 of a second between Partonen and Rodriguez. It opens up when Partonen gets a bit of clear air, so is able to use the sheer grunt of that Lotus 79 to get away, as the back axle this time for Rodriguez goes up into the air off of the mountain section through into Hall Bends. They've got another back marker. Gap is now going to start fluctuating once more as they go into Barn very shortly, and then it's going to be the run down this lengthy start-finish straight. Rodriguez is going to try and close in, might get a little bit of side draft assist And there we have him again. Rodriguez, another new fastest lap. Second, what he's done so far this race. 1 minute 11.967. Gap now coming down. 7/10. Now up the run toward down Park Straight, up the hill, in towards Park Corner, and then into Chris Curve. Coming up very shortly before they start their descent down into Gooseneck and Mansfield. So over the first of the two respective quarters through Park, through Chris Curve. No real apex curving to deal with through Chris Curve. Now it's the run down the hill into Gooseneck with a little bit of adverse left-hand down camber. Now the left-hand camber again through into Mansfield. They've got another back marker heading into the mountain. Rodriguez now has got his eyeballs fixated on the rear wing of Partonen as they go through into the mountain section, and Partonen has to avoid quickly. Rodriguez has got that gap down, and it's 3/10.
Yes, sometimes it's just the luck of the traffic here, it seems. And yeah, from 4 seconds down to 0.5. This is the battle for the win here tonight at Cadwell Park. And as we have seen, Rodriguez is also patient enough to yeah, just put down his laps. He's doing the fastest lap at the moment. So yeah, he's ready to make the move soon.
Thomas Silvernagel has lost out of position to Koch just up ahead, but Silvernagel regains that place heading into Coppice. 6 to go on the lap counter here at Cadwell Park for round 9 out of 13 for the Lotus 79 Sunday Racing Series and Grand Prix Series. What a joy it has been seeing these cars roar around this very tight circuit. Lengthy straights, technical sections, cambers to deal with. They really have been putting on a show. And now the battle for the race lead is clearly between Pauli Partonen and JD Rodriguez, with Jacob Reed languishing a little bit further back. But Arnold Koch unfortunately goes off the circuit. That was not what the 24 had in mind. And he has got... he's got Mr. West behind him again. So he is very much keeping in close proximity to cars 14 and 15. And here's the battle between Gallis and Friesen. Friesen's got through round the outside of all places as JD Rodriguez sets another new fastest lap, 1 minute 11.878. So Mickey Friesen through on Gallis for 7th. Eventually the battle has gone his way, but Gallis is going to try and see if he can have the opportunity. This time they're going to go up into the mountain section off of Mansfield and up into the air. Over the crest they go, over the hump, and then through into Hull Bends once more. An incredible composure these drivers have, Sebastian, through this part of the circuit, and then slam on the anchors, first gear, hairpin, starts to accelerate, go through barn, and then power it down the start-finish straight.
And here's also the thing, where do you put down the throttle in the last corner to maximize the speed on the straight? And
oh, that's the 23. That's...
For a second I was thinking that was Rodriguez.
Yeah, well, Thomas Silbernagel and Arnold Koch both managed to keep out of harm's way on that one. They've got through on one of the other back markers as well, so quite a few retirees early doors. Thurston on the opening couple of, well, Fechner and Krakowiak out on the opening lap as Pauli Partonen responds to JD Rodriguez with a fastest lap of his own, 1 minute 11.780. Gap between them is about 0.4 of a second as they head up Park Straight and into Park Corner. They've got the number 15 of Janne Lyman, who they are about to lap very shortly. 4 to go, and this is where it's all going to count. And now Rodriguez gets the double toe. He used that to full advantage down the gooseneck into Mansfield. I think he's going to have his best run as long as he tees it up nicely through the mountain, Hull Bends, hairpin, and into Barn at turn number 18. I think Rodriguez is now going to put the frighteners on Partonen, who's been waiting and has been seeing that ever-present number 6 in red fill his rearview mirrors.
Yeah, I could be mistaken, but it looks like the cars behave a little bit differently, a little bit more sliding. So it's now all down to how to manage the corner, how to get the throttle down to really maximize it, because they are doing equal lap times basically. And if you want to win it, you have to be perfect now.
Yeah, 3 to go out of 32 laps And Partonen keeping Rodriguez at bay. Another GSRC replay. Jacob Reed. Now this, he's lost the back end. He's at one of the worst places. It's at the mountain section. And, well, Jacob Reed, very, very lucky to keep it out of the barriers on that one. So that has really lost him big time. But he might be 14 seconds away from the race leader, but he's about 7 seconds ahead of Freckleton as Partonen gets through. The back marker moves, starts cutting grass, unfortunately, with the front wing. But that again puts Rodriguez onto his back as they go through into the mountain section. As Sebastian rightly said, you've got to be perfect through this. And look at that leap from Rodriguez. He means business.
The fight is now on, and another back marker, but he got out of the way a little bit better than we have seen it before at the exact same place. So, yeah, it is all down to the draft now, because they are equally driving as good as they can. Will be a heartbeat finish now with 2 laps to go.
So just under 7 kilometres remain of the Cadwell Park full circuit here at round 9 out of 13 for the wonderful, wonderful Lotus 79 Sunday Grand Prix Series live on the Global SimRacing Channel here in sound and vision with myself, Alex Goldschmidt, and Sebastian Holmichel talking you through the action. We see the concentration. Rodriguez has thrown that away, unfortunately. You said about
smile on his face.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, that's it. I've lost the win. I've lost the win." But you know what? You have to give that man a big, sort of like chapeau for the attempt of keeping Partonen under so much pressure, and he's lost it coming through the mountain. Yeah, you were right about the sliding of the rear tyres. Of course, the degradation being quite prevalent as the drivers were pushing the envelope, but it is going to be the white flag out next time for Pauli Partonen, who is doing a stellar job as Thomas Silbernagel and Barry West go into battle for the final spot in the top 15. You can just see how close it is. They both keep it nice and composed going over the mountain section. Final lap has just been called, and Pauli Partonen has a lead of nearly 9 seconds ahead of JD Rodriguez, and Jacob Reed, well, decides to go for the fastest lap. Partonen got pole position. That's an additional 2 points, coupled with the, I think it's 81 points for the race win. 75 for second, 70 for third, as Luca Bracali trying to close in on Freckleton for 4th place. But we really do need to start finding our leader, because we're close to getting the checkered. There he is. Pauli Kalevi Partonen comes through, and is it going to be a well-deserved win for the Flying Finn? It looks to be the case. The number 3 coming through the mountain section for the final time. He's on cruise control. He knows that he doesn't really need to pass those back markers in front. He's got his own take on the JPS special livery. Got a bit inverted, and he's got the Pauli special on the side of it. So checkered is out of the final corner. The number 3 from Finland, Pauli Kalevi Partonen, will take the checkered flag and win an exciting battle here at Cadwell Park. JD Rodriguez will take second in the number 6, and Jacob Reed rounds out the top 3 in the number 1, loving the old school Martini livery. Dylan Freckleton will beat Luca Bracali to 4th place as they take the checkered flag. 6th place we'll get to in just a second. Gernot Fritsche in the number 2 car makes his way down in towards the hairpin, and now into Barn Corner, and then powers out of the running in the pinstripe penthouse livery, and will take 6th place. And after that, we've then got Mr. Friesen, Mickey Friesen from Carolina in 7th. 8th will be Gallis, Daniel Gallis in the JPS special. Nathan Finnegan makes his way across the line, takes 9th, and Josh Brain in the Valvoline coloured number 13 rounds out the top 10. Well, that was definitely fast and frantic around Cadwell Park, wouldn't you agree, Sebastian? But what a win for Pauli Partonen.
Yeah, great win. That was the perfect drive he needed. Also managing the traffic, keeping his heart rate down with Rodriguez right behind him. Like, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 in the end. So that was very, very, very close to danger. And yeah, but he did put his car perfectly on the track and deserves this win.
Well, here's the provisional results. 7 retirements in all out of the 33 cars that started. Pauli Kalevi-Partanen takes the win by 5.9 seconds ahead of JD Rodriguez, Jacob Reed, Dylan Freckleton and Luca Bracali round out the top 5. Gernot Fritsche, Mickey Frierson, Daniel Gallis, Nathan Finnegan and Josh Brain complete the top 10, covered by a minute. Jean-Francois Boscus, then John Stevens, Yanni Leiman, Arnold Koch, Thomas Silbernagel, Barry West, Marc-Antoine Thibault, Adam Klatska, Manning Grinnen and Russell Hamilton rounding out the top 20. 20th being 2 laps down. Ben Summers, Mark Briones, Keith Herner, Nick Mahoney, Uwe Zielbauer, Miguel Molan being one of 7 I think we had in the end about 8 or 9 retirements in total. Molan, Runkle Jr., Jared Laws, Byron Long and Richard Thurston completing the top 30. Jason Krakowiak, Hannah Fechner and James Scamordella unfortunately retiring on the opening exchange on the first lap. Well, folks, we're going to go to a brief commercial break here on GSRC, and we'll be right back with a few post-race interviews here for the Lotus 79 Sunday Grand Prix Series. Well, welcome back to round 9 of 13 for the Lotus 79 Sunday Grand Prix Series here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. We're going to get underway with our first interview of today, and Pauli Partanen, congratulations, winner of round 9. You definitely were up against it today, weren't you?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is actually a surprisingly fun track, and shout out to the whole Lotus 79 community. Okay, I had some bad luck with traffic, but nevertheless, I think the traffic was great today, and lappers were super friendly to me. So big thank you, guys. It made this race worth the race. Yeah.
Yeah, we, myself and Sebastian, Pauli, we were wondering how these Lotus 79 cars were going to handle, but of course you secured a big amount of points. I think you also took the fastest lap as well, if memory serves me correctly, as well as pole position. So that's going to give you, if it is the clean sweep, you've got a total of 85 points today. That's going to help you in the championship standings, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, I didn't get the fastest lap. It looks like Jacob got the fastest lap. But I don't really care about points. I'm just random races to win nowadays. So not really gonna make my day to get any points. But I'm still super happy to win. That's why I'm here. I'm here to win races. So that's the whole point.
That's what I like to hear. What's the biggest challenge, apart from dealing with the changes in elevation and also the cambers? What was the biggest test of trying to keep the car on the black stuff here at Cadwell?
Yeah, I don't know. This was really like a lot of elevations in this track. I think it's always a bit hard when you have these sudden uphills and then it goes suddenly to downhill, and there's one corner at the middle of the track where you have to lift on the straight line because you get so big jump there. So I think that was bit hard. But I don't know. You need to focus like 100% the whole race. So that's the hardest part. I think you cannot really take breaks during the race.
Well, Barley, well done today. Congratulations on the win, and we'll see, I'm sure that we'll see you on future races for the Lotus 79 Sunday Grand Prix Series. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to say thank you to Timo, because he said that I should win, and I said to him that I was never going to give you up and never going to let you down, so I won. So thanks, Timo. Bye-bye.
Brilliant. A big thank you there to Pauli Partanen for being with us in the interview zone. A bit of a Rick Astley quote there, I think I heard as well, whilst we were there. We're going to bring in our second place driver, JD Rodriguez, and Sebastian, I'll hand it over to you to have a chat with our runner-up here today at Cadwell.
Yeah, welcome, Mr. Rodriguez. I think you had a smile on your face in the end as you made a mistake not catching up for the win, but I think as you reacted, it was still a great race for you.
Yeah, it was insane. I mean, it's my favorite track on iRacing at the moment, and I had so much fun the entire way. I was so stressed, so nervous. My knuckles were white, grabbing the steering wheel so hard, but it was really nice. I could have get even an overtake on turn 4. Which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting to defend P3 until the end, but I saw an opening I could overtake Jacob, and yeah, it was really nice. I didn't get a chance to try and overtake Pauli for P1, but it was really nice anyway.
Yeah, we watched you several times with your camera, and we also talked about, like, it seemed sometimes you forgot to breathe, or you needed really some relief on the straights.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't blinked in 40 minutes, for sure. I was so focused because every single little mistake can be the end of the race in this track. So I was so nervous. I had a lower wing setup, so it was a bit understeery on the fast section. So I had to be really focused and really on top of the car the entire time. So yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun.
So was the low downforce setup the key to make the overtake for P2?
Yeah, absolutely. I saw that Jacob was running probably a really high wing setup, because when I overtook him, he couldn't even get close to me with the slipstream. He was like 0.3 behind, getting a good run out of the first section of the fast right-hander, and he couldn't even get close. So probably I saw him on the practice before the race, and he had like 15 kilometers per hour lower than me on the top speed. So yeah, it was good for overtaking, it was good for defending, but on race pace it was a little bit tricky. But yeah, it worked out at the end.
And also in the end, was there trouble with the tires when the tank got lighter and lighter and some sliding occurred?
It may be a tire degradation issue, but I think it was a skill issue more like. I was trying to go so fast on the first section, trying to get close to Pauli, because I couldn't get... I got like 0.7 behind on the last corner, and I was almost being able to try and overtake on turn 4 after the 2 long straights. So I wanted to push so hard to get closer and maybe get a run on the last lap. But I pushed too hard, I clipped the grass, and I lost it. And probably I overheated the tires then or something, because like 5 corners later I spun, and I thought the cars behind were gonna T-bone me and end my race. I was so afraid, but luckily everyone braked and saved me for on that. So yeah, I think it was probably a skill issue, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to save you. No.
No need.
No, that was what I wanted to add. There's no need. This was a really, really great race for a big race win here tonight at Cadwell Park. And with the classic cars on the classic track, I think, yeah, as you said, it was a great evening. And yeah, I congratulations to P2. And hopefully I will be here next time for your next race.
Oh, I hope so. I hope to be here again. At the moment, to broadcast races to P2s, I think, in Virginia and here. So hopefully we can continue the streak going forward.
Thank you very much, JD.
Thank you to you.
Well, a big thank you there to JD Rodriguez, our runner-up. Of course, folks, don't forget the iRacing Black Friday sale is open now, right up until the 2nd of December. And if you're a new member to the iRacing service, 50% off all new memberships Early renewals and activations for current users of iRacing, 25% off. It's the biggest iRacing sale of the year. For more information or to also sign up for your membership or renewals or activations, head to iracing.com/Black Friday. And with that, we've got one final interview to round things off. It's the man who loves his VR and his sequential gear shifts. It's none other than Barry West. Barry, welcome into the booth. How are you, buddy?
Oh, that was the best race of the week. I enjoyed that. But, yeah, apart from qualifying, I need to work on.
You were definitely having some really, really good battles with Thomas and Arnold. I think even Miguel Molan you were having a bit of a 2 and 8 with as well. That just goes to show how closely competitive up and down the order the Lotus 79 Sunday Grand Prix Series really is, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, and in this track, unless you have, incredible top speed and get a good exit, it's so difficult to overtake. My teammate Miguel let me go actually, so we had the same setup, and we were just getting held up by Arnold. Well, we pulled away from Arnold, and then an incident had to slow up, which put him right on me, and he took advantage of it. And then Thomas moved, questioned me under braking a few times. We tapped a few times, which we've had words over. But yeah, it's a great place to race or to hot lap.
Yeah, definitely. Just give the folks at home an understanding, because they can see picture in picture. We had some wonderful onboards on the side of the cockpit. You're running the full VR smorgasbord there. What is Cadwell like from a VR perspective with that full immersion?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, although you haven't got time to really look at the track, I mean, it is stunning. It was just so immersive. That's the word, really. Yeah. I mean, I didn't think a lot of people were saying how nervous they were here, and I was nervous all week. And if you show any signs of nerves, you're toast. And today I had a setup from Miguel, who actually got one. I think it's Paul's. So felt really confident with it. But of course, it had quite a lot of downforce. So you didn't have. I mean, we did take a lot off for the race.
Yeah.
But it just not quite enough.
But still a pretty good finishing result. 16th, having started 28th. I think your highest, I think you were 14th at one point. Your best lap, a high 1:13.6. You pretty happy with the result in terms of progression? Because I mean, qualifying we knew was going to be difficult around here at Cadwell.
Yeah. I'd have liked to have been up in top 10, top 12 really, but I can't complain about 16th from 28th really, especially around here.
Brilliant. Well, Barry, before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank in particular?
Wife, obviously, for letting me do it. And I throw out to Miguel for the good setup he gave me, give me confidence. But yeah, and obviously to Paulie for winning.
Brilliant. Barry, thank you so much for joining us for the post-race interviews, and we'll see you next week for round 10.
Brilliant. Cheers then, boys.
Well, a big thank you. That wraps up our coverage here on GSRC for round 9 out of 13 for the Lotus 79 Sunday Grand Prix Series. So a big thank you to the team today, big thank you to Sebastian, big thank you to Christian, and a big thank you to Dougie. Please don't forget to check out our social media website and also our merch store. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And if you like this video, why not like, share and subscribe all at the same time, and thereby you'll get notifications if you click the little bell. We'll tell you when we are next online. And be sure that you tune in for the next round. Round 10 will head to Monza on November the 17th, 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. GMT. Until next time, race clean and race hard, but if in doubt, go flat out. We'll see you on trackside very soon. Goodbye for now.